Hey guys, Ernie here and welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. You ever walk around the store and just see something that looks, cheap and usable and you think, I should try that. I mean, it's worth $6. Well, that happened to me the other day at the Bass Pro Shops. Stay tuned and I'll show you all this. This is a $5.99 Sterno folding stove. Thanks for watching. If you've watched the channel at all, you know that I like survival, I like preparedness, I like all that stuff, and I have quite a few videos on all those different topics. This video kind of fits into all of them. You can use this particular stove camping. You can use it for survival. You can use it in a preparedness situation. It could fit inside of a bug out bag or a bug out box, whatever it is you want to call it. This will work. It has multiple fuel options, and the reason that I bought it was, of course, I know I can use it with Sterno fuel, which is what it's made for, but will it work with other things? Will it work with a propane stove? Will it work with an alcohol stove? Or will it work with solid fuel tablets? All those things are questions that I had. So I'm going to set this up, show you how easy it is to set up. Then we're going to see how many different types of fuel sources can we safely use and effectively cook with this. All right, so let's take this thing out. Remember, guys, those $5.99, all right? Pretty inexpensive. What does it say? Obviously, uses Sterno green, clean, or canned heat, easy to assemble, which it is. All right, you basically just unfold it. You've got all these pieces. This is what it looks like, completely unfolded. All right, then what you're going to do is bring this around, and it has these little tabs underneath right here. You're just going to run this wire right through those tabs. Same thing here, run the wire straight through the tabs. You do want to make sure it's seated well. Okay, and there you have your stove. You put your fuel here on the bottom, and then you can enclose the heat by closing this little tab. Listen, $6, guys, $6. Pretty awesome. Let's weigh this thing real quick. It's put together. Let me zero this out. It's put together. I'll just kind of put it sideways here. So 252 grams are basically 9 ounces. Not too bad. One of the reasons that I really like this was its size. Okay, just measuring this. All right, the grill top is 6.5, imagine square. Yeah, so 6.5 inches square. That's pretty big, and it allows you to put a pretty big size pot on there. And when you're talking about survival for a family, this could work really, really well. So let's set this up and let's try all the different types of fuel we might be able to burn with. All right, so first and foremost, of course, we can use Sterno fuel. Sits right on there, no big deal, works very well. These particular ones burn for about 2 hours. They're pretty non-toxic, so that's an easy place to start. Then we can look at alcohol stoves. So some of the commonly, or one of the most commonly used stoves is the Trangia. Now I will say that the Trangia itself will fit. You just have to be very careful on how you put it on there, and you don't, you just can't move this a lot because it can fall off. Now you can see it's pretty stable. There, it popped off. So it's just big enough to hold the Trangia. Now even better is this, which is the Pathfinder School alcohol stove. It's a lot bigger, gives you more burn time, and it does work very well. And it's much more stable because it fits on the size and on the supports a lot better. This works really, really well. If I was going to choose one particular alcohol stove to pair with this Sterno stove, it's going to be the Pathfinder School alcohol stove. So then I started thinking, well, maybe I could use like this Esbit stove, if I put the Esbit stove right there, and that would work. Okay, you could put the Esbit cube right on there. It just comes down to what you have available to you. What I would recommend doing is finding yourself just a simple little dish like this, all right? And you do want to build it up a little bit so you can get your Esbit stove, put it right there, and then, I'm not going to open it, but there's your Esbit cube. Put it right in the center, and you can easily use solid fuel with this Sterno stove. A lot of times we don't have Sterno around. We meaning preparedness people, preppers, whatever you want to call yourself. But we do tend to have solid fuel like hexamine tablets or Esbit fuel. And if you're able to do this with the Esbit right inside of this is actually designed for that. This comes from an Ohuhu stove. I didn't have a seizure there. It's Ohuhu, and I'm going to have a video about that particular stove. It's an Ohuhu wood stove that you can get on Amazon for very cheap. Kind of similar to a Solo stove, but not quite as good, but in some ways a lot better because of the price. Again, we'll talk about that. If I already have the video, at some point I'll put a link up here to that video. But this actually comes with that stove and is a tray for solid fuel. So if you can get yourself something like this to raise it up just a little bit, you can put your solid fuel there and use the Sterno stove with that. This is not wide enough to fit a canister stove like a pocket rocket or something. If you really wanted to do that, you could build this up and stick the canister stove through the center there and use it. You would just have to support the stove, which you could easily do like with some bricks or something. You know, just put bricks on the side of it and put your canister stove in the middle. I'm not sure why you do that. Most canister stoves have supports, but if you wanted to use the canister stove with a heavier pot, something that may cause more problems, this is pretty darn stable. And again, it's 6.5 by 6.5, so it gives you more options as far as the size of pot you can use. So you guys let me know what else you think we can put in here. I thought about putting actual wood, just putting a wood fire, and I'm sure you probably could. I don't know how this aluminum would respond to really, really high heat. And I don't know how these wires down here would respond. I'm sure you probably could do that, but I'm not going to mess with it. I'm worried I'm going to mess it up. And come on, this was $5.99. We're not messing this thing up. If you guys have any other ideas, any other options, what do you think we could use in here as fuel? Drop it down below in the comments. All right, guys, so there you go. The Sterno folding stove. Super cheap, super easy to use, and versatile, as you could see. Multiple fuel options. You don't just have to use the Sterno. You can fit multiple commercially available alcohol stoves, I think, for long-term survival. Alcohol stoves are better than Sterno. Sterno is expensive for one thing. A lot more expensive than alcohol stoves. Alcohol's cheap, easily storable. You can buy it in high volumes, and you can pretty much get it wherever you want. You can get heat, which is what a lot of people use. You can buy that almost all auto parts stores, Walmarts, Targets, whatever it might be. And you can get big bottles of denatured alcohol at Lowe's or whatever it might be. Keep a couple of those at the house for emergencies. You'll be in good shape to cook in any emergency using this stove. Again, the reason I like this particular stove is the footprint. It's 6.5 inches square. That's a lot bigger than most stoves will give you the ability to put on top. Any of these things, whether it be an alcohol stove or a Sterno, is not putting out a lot of heat. It's going to take a while to cook things, but it does give you the ability to simmer very easily. Whether you get a simmer ring on the Pathfinder school alcohol stove or the Sterno itself doesn't put out tons of heat, it allows you to simmer, which is good for cooking for a bigger family if you're going to use a bigger pot. And again, the size of this will allow you to do that. I think these are great reviews because they are accessible. There's things that you can buy at the local Walmart, at the local Bass Pro Shops. In particular, I bought this one, $6, really hard to beat. It's more expensive on Amazon for it, I'm pretty sure, but I got a really good deal on it. It wasn't on sale. I think that's just what they sell it for. As always, I appreciate everyone checking out Paleo Hiker MD. I hope you guys like videos like this. Do you like reviewing products like this that are low cost and easy to use and that anyone can add? I have a lot of things that I have together in my house for emergencies, but a lot of people out there are just starting to get ready and they're looking for cheap ways to be ready. You buy this, get yourself a decent alcohol stove, make yourself an alcohol stove out of some pop cans, get some alcohol. In an emergency, you can boil water, you can cook things, you can take care of your family. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up below, really helps. And if you like the channel, why don't you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already so we can keep this thing growing. As always, I appreciate you checking out Paleo Hiker MD. Stay tuned for more videos soon. Thanks, guys.